Cause I caught you on that ice, and I know you no
more. Good afternoon, good morning. Oh yeah, it's still the morning time. My bad. I did end up going live just a little bit earlier than what I expected, or I guess what you expected, because I mean, I usually go live way earlier than this, but I kind of put it off because I did have some other things to do. Y'all know on Wednesdays I do other stuff. We had a lot to discuss though. So of course this is about Transmaxxers and DL MEN. So finally, because so many people always have questions, and I usually don't answer them. So today is the chance where you're gonna get all of your questions answered. Let me make sure this whole Morgan didn't say nothing. Oh, okay, a whole didn't say nothing. Thought so. Don't let that open wound close. Good morning. Make sure as you come in, you tap the screen. Hopefully you're doing well this morning, early afternoon. I'm gonna give y'all 1 hour now because my throat is a little bit scratchy from all of that yelling I've been doing. So therefore, I am going to rest my throat. But I'm going to come back a couple of times throughout the day. So these 1 hours will be very impactful. So make sure as you come in, if you can hear my voice and you have a question. Oh, hey, Jazz. Oh, hey, Jazz. I see you're over here on Bigo. Hey, Keisha Love. How is everybody doing? I got to look at both places because I do have Bigo up because I can't add it to the live. So I do... We'll be bouncing in between. Hey, Trinicia. Hey, Tiki Kiki. You don't have to use your real name if you go through the direct link. With the direct link, you can use any name. Yeah. Oh, shit. I didn't go out yet. Okay, what? Let me see something. Hold on. Oops. Okay. Thank you guys for this house. Hey from London. OTT. Hey, Petty Diva. So I do have a PowerPoint. Oh, we're not going to necessarily go over the PowerPoint. I really just have it up for a reference point because I need people to start referencing this. Sometimes I may not be able to reply to a direct message or maybe even an email. This PowerPoint is available through Canva. If you go to my link tree, or if you just, I guess I could copy it. Hold on. Because I do want you to always remember, like, anytime you see me do a PowerPoint, it is available to you. Some of them, not all of them. Okay, so Jazz, let's see, you can't do YouTube. Hey, you could have stayed on Bigo if you wanted to. You know how Bigo goes sometimes. Okay, so as far as the Canva link, not too sure why it's not doing what I needed to do. Yeah, because I mean, I should see more views on Canva. Like, y'all should be viewing this link because, again, there may be a time we need someone over here to keep the chat moving. Right, but I think today, now that I'm able to kind of allow them to know, and hey, everybody on Instagram, you said, let me get my notebook out. This is about questions. So, I will have the PowerPoint up for reference, but I am going to have to be through a lot of screens. Hey, Miss Vanity Monet. Hey, Bigo. It's too many people. I will not be able to keep up with everybody. I will kind of go through the slides just to kind of reiterate what we already know. But and I'll just kind of get started on that. That way to kind of give us something to talk about as we wait for people who may have questions. If you need to physically come up here and talk to me, there is a link that I can give you if we need that. Everybody isn't comfortable with that, but if you are, let me know. So first of all, I always start with my disclaimer because I do feel like this is an important thing for everybody to know. There is no universal way to tell if a man is DL. Because I know a lot of people will listen to one video or two videos and they just think they got it all figured out. If you watch me in clip form, I don't even, unless you went to the bottom of my page and worked your way to the top, I don't even feel comfortable sometimes when people try to use, like, if you just started watching me this week and you see one video, That's not enough for you to say, well, the DL was like, that's not enough because if your man is DL, there's going to be a lot of signs. It's not just going to be one thing, I promise you. So let's remember that. And also to the trans people, I'm on your ass too. Because I know a lot of y'all thought that you were going to get away. Because typically you did get away, but you're not going to get away today. Okay, so I don't necessarily want to talk about, I mean, I don't know what you tagged me in, but if you don't, like, I want direct questions today. Like, we can look at that kind of stuff a little bit later. But if you have a direct question, that's what I would prefer right now. That's my preference. Because talking about stuff that's on the internet, like we got time to do that, but we don't have time for everybody to ask a question. And I think a lot of people have questions. I know for a fact people have questions because I see all of the messages that I can't respond back to. So, this is that time because a lot of people message me, but of course, like I hate to break it to you, like I do not have time to sit there and respond to everybody's message. Okay, so Brooke, I'm now gonna put the link in the chat. So hopefully you can see it. You should be able to see it because you're on the actual live. So I'm just gonna share it, and then you can just come up here, and then we can have a quick convo. Let's try to limit this to 5 minutes, please and thank you. Unless if it has to go over, it has to go over. But the goal is for it not to have to go over that far. You said, hi, I'm trans, but I agree with everything you say. Oh, thank you. That's not something you hear often from a trans person. That's really good. I'm glad that and not that I even need you to agree, but I'm glad that you're aware of the truth because, I mean, the facts, you can't change them. So in this case, I'm glad that you're at least aware of them because it's not like I'm saying anything that's just, of like world class. Okay, Brooke, I see you down there. Are you ready to come up? Let me split it.
Yes. What the fuck is this telling me? What is this?
Your camera is on. I don't know if you want to turn it off, but hi.
Oh yeah, I do want to turn it off. I look crazy. But okay, so when I tagged you, and I've been arguing with these trans people for like a literal month. I commented one thing. So this girl, when I tagged you, and her name's Kinsey, this girl basically made a video about how a sex change is like childbirth. A sex change is like, do you think a sex change is like childbirth?
Well, of course I wouldn't say that. But that's what you've been arguing about.
Yes, and I tagged you in a bunch of stuff because I'm tired of it. Like literally, they've been saying,
"But why? Okay, how old are
you? Shouldn't be a nurse. You're a disgusting nurse. You have horrible manners. You should never be a nurse. You're disgusting. You don't have compassion for people. All because I said,
listen. Let's go ahead and. Because I mean, why are you even arguing about something so like crazy? Like I get why you're arguing because you feel like it's disrespectful, but to be arguing for weeks, like one thing I do know about the trans people, even if they know something, they're never gonna admit it.
Right, and it just presses me because I'm pregnant right now. I'm 5 months pregnant. I'm sick every day. I'm in pain. I'm in the hospital constantly. And for you to tell me that you getting your dick cut off is like what I'm going through right now, it just makes me so mad because it's really debilitating and it messes with my mental health. I literally can't go out the house. It's horrible. I lost weight, and it's just like for you to tell me as a man that you getting your dick turned inside out is like this. And then when I say, oh, well, how is childbirth the same? All I did was ask a question. He goes, oh, well, you shouldn't be a nurse. Everybody starts flaming me in the I mean, like, that's why it's been months, because it's like over I wish you could look the video. Over 300 and this girl has a following too. This is not just some any bitch.
I mean, but I guess the thing is like, I get why you're upset though, but it's like, okay, what would make you not be upset? Because they're not going to admit that what they're doing is wrong. So how would you feel better about the situation, I guess?
I feel like people like you. I feel like, yes, like you should be. That makes me feel better about the situation because I am completely, okay. I'm not homophobic or anything like that. I know you probably gonna feel some type of way about this, but
I mean, I don't really
care. Ass. I know you probably feel some type of way about that. He probably gay. I mean, I left him. It's my baby daddy. Who knows what the fuck is wrong with that man? But I did. So I ain't gay. I ain't weird. Like, I ain't weird. And I mean, I'm not homophobic.
Yeah.
I'm not weird or anything. Like, I'll get on a nigga. I'll get on my knees, eat a nigga. I don't give a fuck. Like, if I really like that man. Like, I don't give a fuck. I never care. I actually like, gay men. I'm not gonna go into that, but I actually like I think it's cute. I think it's nice. Like, I don't have any issue with it. So for them to try to call me homophobic or transphobic, I'm like, you never know what somebody's into. So don't ever just say that I'm homophobic or transphobic. You never know. But it's just you shouldn't be comparing things that don't compare. And I think that's the problem. I think trans people need to come up with their own experiences and not try to attach themselves to women experiences.
I agree, but what I will say is that they're not going to stop doing that. Like, I mean, and that's, and I'm only saying that because I felt the same way you felt, and you think having a simple conversation and verbalizing how you feel, they don't care though. So that's why I'm like, what would make you feel better? Because if I was you, I would just delete the comment. If like you're pregnant,
right,
and I would just delete it, because on their pages, it's only going to be people that mostly support what they believe. So by you not believing that, that's like, I wouldn't follow a trans person, like, or I wouldn't go purposely to their pages because I don't want to even see their audience. They're like, I don't care.
You know that girl Amora?
No.
And she's like, she got a long head. She's dark skinned. She's trans. She be beefing with TL Madison and all that kind of stuff too. She be beefing with all them too.
I don't keep up with no trans people.
But yeah, you just know. I just was.
They said Amoy. Are you talking about Amoy?
Amoy, yes.
Oh, I'm thinking you're talking about somebody else. Oh, okay. I mean, I've saw Amoy a couple of times.
She blocked me.
Okay.
Girl, why you blocked me?
Listen. I don't want what I don't want, because I hear you. This is not like a conversation. Like, I do want this to be a helpful conversation.
Oh,
like,
no, this one.
I know you want to vent, but because the Amoy isn't even trans. Like, that's why I'm just like, that's a whole nother conversation, I think.
I thought she was.
Trans. That's why I was like, you're calling him she, but it's like,
sorry. He blocked me because I guess maybe he's seen that I was supporting people, like supporting, I don't know what happened, but I was like, dang, I thought he was cool. So I agree.
I wouldn't get too invested.
Delete the comment.
Yeah, I wouldn't get too invested in delusional people.
I basically just said, how do you know if it's close to childbirth? That's all I said. That was the comment. And they're trying to pretend like that's insult. Do you feel like that's an insulting comment? Me saying, how do you know it's close to childbirth?
Of course, I don't feel like that. Of course, like you already know how I feel. We're on the same page. Like, that's why I told you, like, the fact that you're trying to reason with people that aren't going to reason with you, that would then start making you kind of be a little delusional, because I just told you, like, they're not going to reason. So if you don't want to argue, I would delete the comment. Like, if you feel like, especially because even if a woman says something that is correct, you can say the same thing as me, but they're still not going to hear it because they're misogynistic. So that's why I say, like, if anything, you should just ignore trans people. I think women should just ignore them. Like, if you know all of these things and you know that you're carrying a baby and you know what you know, then why would you argue with them about what you actually go through directly?
Yeah, I guess it's just hitting too close because I'm like
dying
right now.
That's why I say, like, it makes sense. That's why I would get off social media if you can't handle it, because why would you let these people that you don't know influence your energy?
And they're like, it's always the people that believe in God. It's always the people that have a cross. It's always the people that's trans. Like, okay.
Yeah, I would just ignore them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. This has been going on for a while.
Yeah, let it. I mean, because you done probably said everything you could say, so I would just let it go and just move on for now. Because I mean, you're carrying a child, so I wouldn't let them stress me out if I was you. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. But I do appreciate you coming up here.
I appreciate talking to you because I always see you, and it's just like I always wanted to speak to you and ask you questions. And I actually inboxed you about if you thought it was weird that my man let me eat his ass. And do you think that's weird?
Have you not watched me?
Yes, I have. I have. Stop.
Listen.
And he's a white man. And he's white. And he's a white man.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. But I do appreciate you coming up here, and I do hope you have a safe, stress-free pregnancy. I think you should log off a little bit and don't let these people get you upset.
And you know what? As do you too. Keep supporting women because we love you. You just made my morning like a celebrity or something. So yeah, we love you.
I didn't even know I could add multiple people. Okay. Well, thank you for coming out. And hopefully you delete your comments so you don't have to continuously keep arguing with them.
Yeah, I will. I'm about to delete it right now.
Okay, perfect. So Dinah and Scarlett, what's up?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Well, I just want.
Scarlett.
Yeah, that's me. You see me?
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see you. Mm-hmm.
Hello. Yeah, I just find it so weird that that trans women get mad about what you're saying. It's almost like a woman dealing with a married man. Mm-hmm. And then all her whole friends telling her, girl, don't worry about that. Do you? You ain't gotta worry about what that nigga doing, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, why are you so mad? Like it's not right that a man that is putting himself out here straight is also having sex with men. That's not right. Just like it's not right for a hoe to deal with a man that's married. It's not right. So why is it a problem that is being called out? Like, I just don't understand that. People should be like pushing it. Like, yeah, expose these niggas. So these women know, because what happens is that's why people are coming up with all these STDs and all this stuff, because they transferring around, because you got these straight men that is, or they're out there being straight. And I live in Atlanta, by the way. I was born and raised here. And so on the east side of Atlanta, in Decatur. And so, I feel like I don't have a question in my mind. I've done fucked with a DL. Like, there's no question in my mind.
Right. I was about to say now in Atlanta or Decatur.
Yeah. And it's like, people hate when I put you on, because when I'm with a dude and I put you on, they be like, who you listening to? Don't worry about who I'm listening to. Don't worry.
Y'all, one thing I always say, I don't be so shocked that y'all be letting men hear you listen to me, because then what if he comes start listening to me and start using what I'm telling you to then trick you with what I already told you?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you can only let them hear certain things. You know what I'm saying? You don't let them hear everything. You let them hear
nothing at all. Girls
I really
code.
feel
Girls
like you have opened my eyes to so many things that's going on. Hold on. You have opened my eyes to so many things as far as dating out here in Atlanta, exposing these men, just certain things, even the, I've dealt with men that come straight out of prison. My last boyfriend was in prison for 10 years. He's from Atlanta. He went to prison for 10 years. He got out about 2 years ago. And the thing that you say, it made me stop. It made me stop fucking with him, because it is when a man put his friends before you, you know what I'm saying? When a man want to hang out with his boys and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain little things where I be like, really? So you about to leave pussy to go and hang out with dick? That's what you doing. You know what I'm saying?
Which I will say in some cases, I mean, and I'm sure your judgment is good, because I don't want there to be a misconception that, men shouldn't have friends. But like you said, it shouldn't be a constant thing where, you're always putting your friends before your significant other because your significant other is doing something for you that your friends aren't. At least that's how it's supposed to be.
Can't
With
do.
most of the with a
Yeah.
DL man though, it might be a little bit different because his friends usually be where his emotional connections are. So it's like, you know, you
Mm.
want to be around people that you're emotionally connected to because you usually love them. So, you know, you want to spend time with people that you love.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just really thank you for doing everything that you're doing and
Oh,
exposing and you know, just because this takes courage, you know, it
yeah.
takes strength, it takes a lot of what you're doing, you know, because a lot of people don't want this is a lot of people live in their comfort zone, you know, that's their
Yeah.
comfort zone. So why should I expose it? This is only benefiting me. This really isn't benefiting you, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, like you probably get more beneficial just keeping a secret. So by you
Mhm.
coming out and saying this type of stuff and telling us women what to look for
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying
Yeah,
what
because I mean, I always say like I thought it only impacted gay men. So once I started seeing like, oh wow, like women is impacting women because I always thought DL and closeted were the same thing. So if you ever watched the first episode of my podcast, I kind of explained that. So that's why I was like, once I kind of figured out what DL men actually were, it kind of made me look at it a little bit differently, which is why I'm like, some gay men are gonna feel the same way, but hopefully they're learning. So that way, if you are with a man that's dealing with other people, they'll at least come and tell you.
and also another thing is, you know, here in Atlanta especially, it's almost like the younger generation, the new girls, the young girls, they're okay with men being bisexual.
Yeah.
Like I have a cousin that is gay. He moved from Florida here, and he's like, cousin, I've never fucked as many bad bitches as I fuck now, and they know I'm gay. Like they do not mind. Like they are okay with being open and bisexual, and like, oh, we're all just,
I,
you know,
that's what I be trying to tell these men, though. They don't believe me. That's why I be like, if you're up front with a woman, I promise you, if you're the nigga that you think you are, they're still gonna fuck with you. Like,
they're still
are they
gonna fuck
gonna
with
make
you.
you be a little bit more careful? Yes, but I think that
Yes,
to me, you should already be being careful.
that's right. Yes, that's only right. Like, yeah, tell your truth because people out here are okay with it. Like
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
not, but I know
And
somebody
some women,
out
and I was
there.
about to say, now some women aren't. They don't want to be with bisexual men, so we can't. Of course, it's not all women, but I feel like it's not all women that are against it either. So the men that are bisexual, they just have to, you know, deal with it because not every man wants to be with a bisexual woman. So it's like we all have our preferences.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I just wanted to get on here and say my little one too.
Oh,
I'm about
thank
to go get
you.
my
You
hair
look so
done.
beautiful. So thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
out. And I
much.
hope
And
you
I
have a great
love,
day.
love, love what you do. Keep doing what
Oh,
you're doing. And I just love it. Thank you so
thank
much.
you. I hope you have a great
Thank
day.
you. You too. Bye.
Bye. Dinah, what's up? So you
Hi.
said that you had the surgery. So you completed your full transition, is what I'm
um,
guessing.
yes, I definitely did, but throughout my entire life, like I, delusional or not, I never felt like the trans women that you talk about,
Okay.
and
I'm
I've been,
asking you.
yes,
But at
and
least okay. But
I've
tell
been
me how you
around.
do think. Let's get into that. How do you think?
How do I think about regarding what exactly?
About the trans, like, cause you're trans, so if you don't feel like
Mm-hmm.
the trans people that I post, like, how do you feel about transitioning? And I'll post the link again for other people that want to come up. How do you feel
Right.
about transitioning?
I feel like it's a journey of my own. I don't need to have anybody's validation. It's my journey, it's my life, it's my lifestyle, it's how I feel, it's how I see myself. I'm not going to try to prove if somebody sees me as a man, that's fine. That's how you see me. I don't need to change your opinion. You're not my friend. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect my life. I'm still going to keep on and living my life.
So
But
nobody can stop you from existing, is what you're saying.
a what? Sorry.
I said no one can stop you from existing.
Right, right. Because okay, you said that. You said something
Yeah,
factual. That's
yeah.
fine.
I was about to say, yeah, like it's like
Life
what's
moves
next?
on, life moves on. I don't understand why it bothers you because the only reason why people get reactive is because they know the truth. The truth always triggers you. That's why you see all these reactions from these people because it's the deep down truth. Like at the end of the day, like even when I'm home by myself or whatnot,
sitting
Mhm.
down and talking to myself and having conversation with myself, like an honest conversation. I know who I was born as. I know what I am. And if I don't get the things that the so-called, the derogatory cis term woman get, it's okay. Like, because I'm not one, I need to create my own experiences and my own livelihood, that it doesn't necessarily has to be the same as the biological woman.
Mhm. I mean, because it won't. So you kind of have to recognize that, and that's good though, because if you don't and you try to assimilate into womanhood, I think a lot of them that's what they can't accept. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can get the surgeries and do all of that, but you still technically, because you weren't born a
Yeah.
female or girl, it's like you can't ever be what you're trying to be. Like, you could be a version of it. Are you
Mm-hmm.
from Russia as well? People want to know where you're from. Are you?
Yes, I'm from Russia.
Oh, okay. And hey, Petty
And
Diva.
huh?
No, I was speaking to Petty Diva, but
Hi. But it's like it doesn't affect me. I know what I know what I was born as. I wasn't socialized as a boy.
yeah.
I get it. Like, I was a boy, but I was never in my life socialized as a boy. I was always like othered and isolated from the boys, and they would always abuse and bully me, like see the feminine side of me. So I never had the connection with the boys growing up. But it doesn't change the fact that I was born a boy. It doesn't change the fact that I went through the puberty as a boy. So I can
And what
just
age
change.
did you start transitioning?
So I moved to America at 18 to escape my family,
Mm.
because I knew that I couldn't be who I am today. So I literally had to escape my country to basically become who I am.
Okay.
But that
Makes
was like
sense.
that wasn't like the main purpose. It was just like I knew that over here at least I could do it for free, like freely,
Mhm. It's the fact
without
that you
any.
came all the way from Russia. That's so far.
Yes, I know, but
That's far, but I get it. Like, America is very free. Like, we're very like open about that type of stuff versus other places.
I agree. I mean, I knew who I was and I knew that I couldn't survive. And otherwise, like, if I did stay there,
Mhm.
I don't think I would be able to, I don't think I would be alive, or I would push life through as a miserable man that's living a DL lifestyle, and I don't want to do that. And sometimes women even support that. My own mother is like, why are you doing this lifestyle? You should have been just a DL man, basically. Get
Oh.
married or whatever and just have your fun on the side. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. It's not fair for the woman, and I don't want that kind of family, and I don't want that kind of relationship. Like,
I
for
can
what?
appreciate that.
You
I
know?
can really appreciate you for that.
And one last thing, as far as like, the the men with the prostates that you talk about, you are absolutely right. I have been surrounded by them in the beginning of my transition, seeking for a real friendship, seeking for a real connection besides dick chasing and money chasing lifestyle. But unfortunately, a lot of them have a fetish for like straight men. They literally turn themselves into the most hypersexualized version of woman just to attract the man, and then play with them, play with the mind games. And
Okay.
when those men
Okay.
have their families, their wives, their girlfriends, and they find out that they're talking to the trans,
Mhm.
I've seen with my own eyes how
Mhm.
much joy these trans people had. That the fact that, like, oh my god, look at his girlfriend texting me. Look at his wife texting me, and he's still here. I'm like, girl, do you know there's a whole world out there besides a dick? And do you know that this man only texts you and calls you when he needs a
Yeah.
free nut or low cheap ass nut? Like, you are literally just a
Oh, I
convenient
like
cum
that.
dumpster,
Uh-huh.
and you're just ready to just accept that for the piece of dick, basically.
Oh, tell them again. See, you're
Seriously.
speaking from inside of the community, so it really resonates even harder. I like when there's trans women that are upfront about what's real and what's not, because a lot of the times they be lying on the internet. And I think because women aren't a part of the LGBTQ community, or when I say LGBT, I mean the gay
Mm-hmm.
and the trans side of
Mm-hmm.
it. Women don't be knowing what's actually going on. So I think
Exactly.
that, I like that you came up here and was honest, because a lot of trans people, like I said, they'll never be honest. And it's like sometimes people, it's like women will know the truth. Like I was just telling Brooke, like, that what was true and was false, but you'll still keep arguing with them. And I'm just like, that's what they want from you.
Yeah, don't give them the attention that they're looking for. They're literally looking for an attention. They're literally looking for a reaction. They're literally looking for something. Like they cannot live without biological woman's how can I say, like them going against them. Like it's like they do it on purpose to piss them off or something, you know?
It is. That's because it brings them attention. That's why I was like, even though I be telling women that, they still fall in it. Like that's why I was like, if you're a woman and you know that a trans person is trying to be you, if they get online and say, I don't want to be a woman, that should make you be like, okay, I know this person is delusional.
It doesn't make sense.
They're not going to, if they're saying that, like Cherry, for example, let's just say Cherry, we know you want to be a woman, but you're going to piss women off because you know that's what they want to hear you say, because that's the truth. Instead, you're going to say, no, I done all of this naturally. Like, this is what hormones done. I don't want to be a woman. I don't want a vagina. I don't want a period. It's like they try to degrade women to make them feel bad about actually being women, even though it's like you want to be a woman.
So, it's like they're in denial, in a sense, like they know how to trigger. They know how to like emotionally trigger.
And of course, y'all can jump in the conversation. I'm sorry, I didn't put y'all on mute, but what's up?
That's all good. What up, y'all? Hey, DL. Hey, Dina. Petty Diva. Hey, everybody.
How y'all doing? Hello.
Hello.
I'm
DL,
what about you guys?
And I just wanted to tell you I love your page.
Sharing that, because we don't get to hear that a lot. So I'm really glad that you said it, and it's crazy because you're not even from America. That's why I was like, is it just an American trans thing, or
I mean,
delusional trans thing?
I think
not
delusional. Delusional and partially American as well, I think.
Because I feel like
because you have a better head.
Is the only place where it's so free for men to even say that they could just be women, or where it's like men are like, you're gonna accept everything that we do. This is like one of the only places where.
No, I was shocked. I'm like, people literally cross oceans to come here and to be openly gay, but you live here, but you're still in the closet. Like, it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
But everything that you say about, everything that you say actually makes sense, and they cannot live without woman. The DL man and the trans woman, they're literally the same coin but different sides,
Yeah. It is. I'm glad that you acknowledge that. I really do appreciate it. And of course, women may have some questions for you because you do have, you went through the whole transition. And I don't know, this might be a good time just to have a little conversation. It's some women on here. I'm just kind of here to, moderate, but I do want y'all to be able to talk.
For sure. I'm open.
Well, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to go with a couple of stories and a couple of experiences I had. First of all, DL, I appreciate what you're doing. I love your page. My uncle had one of the dopest hair salons back in the 90s in Queens, New York, right? So I was exposed to the LGBTQ community at a very early age. I was, taught how to do hair, makeup, my nails, all that stuff. The one thing that was emphasized constantly was the difference between men and women, right? Because I was a kid, so I was confused. I was like, how come this, is that a boy? Is that a girl? And they would constantly tell me like, no, honey, I'm a boy. Like, I am proud to be trans, right? I'm proud to live in my truth, because the whole thing was like, gender isn't supposed to define you, right? Gender isn't supposed to be what determines what you do, right? So if you're a boy that likes wearing makeup, be a boy that likes wearing makeup. Like, you don't have to change to be a girl, right? So I throughout the years, I kind of was just, very liberal about it. Let anybody kind of just do their thing. Like, that the whole New York mantra, like live and let live, right? I'm not going to bother you. Don't bother me. And then I had a baby. And upon having a baby and having a discussion with my husband about how we're going to bring up this baby and, what conversations we're going to have, a lot of the conversations about, about gender and about, all of these significant things came up, because it's like, how are we going to explain to this baby the world that we live in, right? And I started really looking for support in the community, in the older community, the individuals that I knew, like I said, from back in the day, and they were like, no, it's clear as day. Like, don't get confused, don't get brought into this world where you are actually feeding into this shit, because it's bullshit. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, it's a bunch of bullshit, and what they're doing is trying to indoctrinate your kids. They're trying to indoctrinate you. They're trying to really, fuck the system up. And there's no reason why there shouldn't be pride. I mean, that's the whole term, right? Pride, right? You're supposed to be proud of being yourself, regardless of what you are. So I constantly get into it with DL Men online. They tell me I look like a man, and I'm like, honey, I wear, because I do my hair and my makeup and I have like strong features. You look like me. Like, what are you talking about right now? And I think it's this hatred, this self-hatred. I think it's this confusion, this desire to kind of change who you are at your core. And I appreciate individuals like Dina that can really speak up and be like, nah, like I said, like the individuals I grew up with that can say, no, that we have to draw the line at some point, because we can't change reality, biology. And it's important to have these conversations, even though they may seem surface level DL to parents, they mean a lot. Like, to me as a parent, it means a lot. To have an openly gay man be like, hold on a second, right? Like, wait a minute, like, let's talk about this shit for real. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I appreciate this for real.
Thank you. And Petty Diva, what's up? Because I mean, I do want everybody, because of course we have women, trans women, so I do want y'all to be able to like have some type of conversation, because I do think women have a lot of questions that I can't answer because I'm not trans. So we have a trans person that's very reasonable, which is not something that you find all of the time. So if you have any questions or you want to come up here, just kind of, join through the link that I put in the comments. And once you come up, just speak, introduce yourself, and, just kind of assimilate yourself into the conversation. Because it's not going to be a time. I don't like to have conversations where we keep stopping everybody. I think everybody can talk and be an adult and kind of gauge how this shit go. But do y'all have any questions for Dinah, or is it Dina? I don't really know.
It's Dina.
Dina, okay.
I don't really have any questions, but you do see my tag underneath my name, what I wrote, because I've been talking to this guy who's been in prison for 20 years. And I started watching you probably 3 months ago. Like you said, I had to scroll all the way to the bottom to see where you started from. And I saw one post where you were like, where you said something about guys living in Atlanta. And that's where he's from. So in March, when he gets out, we were planning to meet up. But when he said Atlanta, I just ghosted him. I was like, ooh. DL is starting his little pot. I gotta ask him first before I step into some fire or open water that I can't draw myself back from. So that's
okay. So outside of his sexuality, why are you talking to somebody that's been in prison?
Yeah.
I started out as a pen pal. No.
Get into that now, if he in prison for, even though I feel like once you go to prison, no matter what you're in there for, your brain is not going to be the same. But just trying to see, why would you give him a chance?
No, I wasn't. It didn't start as me giving him a chance. It just started him needing somebody to talk to. At first, I didn't even know guys that were in prison played the game. I was playing the game. I was on the Xbox, so it was kind of like awkward. Like, how you playing the game? And he was like, "Oh, I'm on my mobile phone," and it started from there. It wasn't. I was in a whole relationship with another guy at the time that I met this guy. Yeah. But when me and that guy broke up, he was just like always there, always talking to me, and he has a phone. So I'm like, I don't know many guys in prisons with a phone.
I know plenty. That's typical, but I get what you're saying. But yeah,
it started out like that. Now I'm not saying we're talking to like where I want to get to know him, because he sounds like a cool person. His experience, he's not in jail as far as I understand. He could have lied to me about why he's in jail. I'm not even going front. He could have killed somebody. He could have did anything.
The amount of time I would say
but he's afraid to tell me his name. After I spoke to DL, I started singing him, and I asked him. I was like, I asked him. I said, "So you gonna tell me your name?" He said,
Hold on.
"Jamie,"
But
and I was
you
like,
see
"Well,
what
what's
I'm
your last
saying?
name?" He
You're
won't
because
tell
I
me.
mean you're saying that y'all aren't gonna be together, but when people get out of prison, they have to have somewhere to parole to. So I'm
Oh,
assuming
his mother. I'm in New York.
so you're gonna move to Atlanta. He gonna live with his mother,
No,
which then
I was gonna get a ticket and see him.
oh,
I
you're just going
wasn't.
to
For
see. I
what?
wouldn't even waste my time. I wouldn't even waste my
Baby.
time.
For
I'm.
what?
Look, Dina. I don't know. It was just something that
Girl,
I
you
don't
are a
know.
free woman living in
But
New
no,
York.
but
There's
no.
a free
After
man walking down the street. Why are we talking to somebody who is in prison, who's actually in the moment as we talk might be getting his something sucked?
I don't like that. What?
He been in prison.
Well,
Okay, hold on. How long did you say he been in prison again?
DL, you heard me when I
Did you
said
say
20
two
years.
or
20,
two
20,
zero?
20,
20,
20,
Oh, he been in
20,
prison 20
20,
years, and
two
that
zero.
he's
0.
almost been in prison longer than I've been alive. And you think that you want a
Ah,
man that's been in
shit.
prison for as long, almost just
Excuse
as
my
almost
language.
as I've been alive? I don't think you should go for that. And at this point, I'm assuming he's probably how old are you?
I'm 40.
You can find somebody else. So, I mean, it's just like why?
I
Why
have.
England?
It didn't start out
Sorry
like
to
when I
cut you off.
promise you. When I promise you, it didn't start out as me going to see
It
nobody. It was
shouldn't
just
even, but
somebody to
it
talk
don't
to.
even need to go nowhere. I get where it might have not have started, but it should have never started. So now that you know it should have never started, you should end it before he get out of prison because if
Oh,
he gets out of prison and
I
then
ended
he
it the day before yesterday, but I wanted to really ask you the day before yesterday only because it's something you wrote in on one of your posts on Instagram, and I was like, up. Let me just wipe the slate clean, and I've ghosted him. So
Mhm.
it's just like just a scary situation. And then you said something about Atlanta, and I was like, damn, I can't even visit my homegirl in Atlanta and talk to her
and I
brother
think
because her brother might be DL. So it's just
because hold on, I don't think you heard me say something about Atlanta. You was talking to somebody else because DL men are everywhere, and I don't think that you should assume that every man in Atlanta will be DL. But the point that I want you to make is that even if you wouldn't have saw my video, you should have to think like if you meet a man that's been in prison for I'm gonna say more than 2 or 3 years, like I would just call it a dub. Or even a man that's been in prison, and I know you want to give
That's a
people
gay man. That's a gay man at that point.
you know
but
what.
I just
You
think that it's
annoying.
risky.
I dealt with somebody that's been in prison. He was locked up for 5 years.
Mhm.
But but like I said, I'm from New York City. I didn't even know he was locked up until we got like 2 years
Yeah.
into the relationship. That guys are not open about sharing certain things in their lives. So I didn't pick up on it until I got my first black eye, to be honest.
Baby.
Let's be
I,
completely honest.
You
Because
gotta do these backgrounds.
I'm
I
like,
think this is what the
I went to
DL
his mother
whisper.
though. That's how I found out. I had to go to his mother, somebody outside of him.
I think this is the point more important than the whole, the tea about the trans stuff and the tea about DL men. I think what DL Whisperer is doing is really trying to open our eyes and protect us, to inform us that that there's some things going on with men in this world. Either it's their own insecurities or their own history or whatever that's
Mm-hmm.
off, and that we need to dig deeper in, right? Like there's nothing wrong with checking their credit and checking their background and checking their medical history, like because
Yeah,
this
you're
is a
right
man
about
that's
that.
going to lay up with you, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
super important for your own sake, your own health, your mental health, your boundaries, right? That you start creating, like the fact that he didn't want to tell you his name is a huge red flag, right?
Yes, and the
That's
last name at that.
he's starting off already with a secret
right.
already
You're
through the
right.
gate.
That's why I'm like, what
So
is he in jail for 20 years? You either touch somebody, forcibly, or you took a life. Like there is not going to be too many things that you get 20 years and you actually do
That's
the crime.
true.
Like it's violent or it's a sexually deviant crime. Like that's where my mind would have went. You
But
kill
also
I
not
somebody or you rape somebody.
It
Which one?
went there, but when I
not to
asked his
sound
name,
mean, but also why are we talking to a man in a prison? Like why don't we want better for ourselves? Like why don't we want to date somebody, who's a free man, a man of example, a good man, a man does something for his community?
I'll give
that's
you an
true.
example, Dina. I dated a free man. I've dated men that were free and they were still assholes. They still put their hands on me. They still had no respect for
Oh,
women.
okay,
So at
boom.
the
And
same time,
this is
I
important.
don't leave it into one category like all men that been locked up is
Oh,
this is why I'm trying to get
yeah.
answers.
Well,
Like
Yeah,
the
and I
locked up
think,
men
hold on, Dina. Let me
should be
say something
scratched.
before we go too far. I think it's important. The reason why you keep running into the same man is because it's something that we need to work on internally with yourself. Like it's not the man because you're picking these men. Remember that, like you pick every man that you get with.
right,
Like the man is
Exactly.
approaching you, you're picking
right.
him. So if you're picking the same type of man, it's something in you that needs to be like worked on. I mean, of course, this is like a full thing, so we don't have to have that conversation. We can talk outside of here, but that lets me know right there. Like, and the fact that you keep going, not saying that you keep going, but talking to more than one man in jail, it's like,
No. This is the first guy I talked to that's behind bars. Like the guy that I
yeah,
dated outside, he wasn't locked up when I was talking to him.
yeah.
I didn't even know he was locked up. He was in the same school as me. We were both in
Oh,
college.
so you didn't even know he had been in jail, right? Oh, okay.
No.
Well, yeah. So two jail people, I think that's that's
Yeah,
just.
it's just something and I get it.
Mhm. So that's why I was like, I think it's more so like let's look within. That way,
That's
before the next person that you meet, like you have to
right.
pick something. And I'm not saying that it's something wrong with you, but there's something there that would allow you. Because I mean, if I hear that a man been in jail, like to me, that's the automatic deal breaker.
Yeah, it should be scratched at all.
Like I mean,
Leave.
like when you say jail, like that's pretty much like it. Like it's literally that's it. Like there are certain things where I think you have to, set your boundaries and kind of stand on them. And to me, jail, and I know when you set that boundary, there are so many people that go to jail, that go to prison. So you are gonna eliminate a lot of people, but I hate to say it, you have to. Everybody shouldn't even have access to you. So yes, you have to start putting certain standards like jail. Like if you have bad credit, I can work with you on that. If you inappropriately touch somebody, I can't work with you on that. If you have more than 2 children, I can't work with you on that. If you're DL, I can't work with you. Like you have to know what you can and cannot work with somebody on. Like if you're making $40,000 a year, I can work with you on that. We just need to find you a better job. Like, but I'm not working on you and you are a criminal because I can't do anything with that. Like you can't be on a lease, you can't co-sign with me for anything. Everything that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have to leave you out. So if I'm gonna have to leave you out, you shouldn't be in my life.
Now, if you
Definitely. No, I
now if
got
you rob
you.
the bank and transfer the money to Switzerland, then we
That's
can work.
hilarious.
You know,
That is
Dina.
hilarious. She said
No, I
federal
get
prison
it.
only.
No, I totally get it. This is why no, and like I said, I've stopped talking to him already.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
wanted to
glad.
further know, like,
Yeah,
is every man in jail? Like, just asking
I don't think
because I don't.
but the point is that every man in jail isn't guaranteed to be gay. No, that's not the point. That's why I'm like, when men go to jail for like, okay, 20 years, that nigga is gonna be gay. But what I'm saying is that people who go to jail, just what goes on in jail is enough for you that you should not even deal with a man in jail. Because besides all of the sexual assaults and it's like the violence, like the way that they're institutionalized in jail is kind of like similar to slavery. So you're
Oh,
essentially going to be with somebody that's being molded by modern day slavery and slavery tactics that are being used in jail. Like that's why I always say, like, go talk to some people that be in jail. Like, if you go talk to some men or you go look up some documentaries, like, you'll see that, like, what they go through in jail isn't even close to, like, what they experienced in real life, which is why a lot of them go back. Because real life and jail is two different things. Like, it's like two different worlds for them. So I think that you have to consider that. Like, when, I guess everybody never had a family member that get out of jail, but, like, when people get out of jail after being in there a couple of years, like, they're crazy as fuck, first of all.
Mentally broken.
Right, I was about to say, and then it's just a whole lot of other issues. That's why I was like, besides their sexuality, because to me, I don't think you would care if your man was gay. But besides their sexuality, like, I don't think that they'll be able to treat you properly because they've been behind those bars for so long. In this case, 20 years. But
I get it.
anytime a man goes to jail for years at a time, if he goes to prison, because jail and prison are a little bit different. If he goes to prison, I don't really see any people go to prison and get out the same way, or they're normal after they get out of prison.
Yeah, like they brain loses some kind of chemical imbalance. I get that.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I don't want you to think that all men that are in jail are going to be gay, but after 20 years, boo, after and just think about it like this: how many men do you know that are free that can abstain from having sex? So when you think about these men are sex addicts while they're free, when they get locked up, the sex addict, they don't just lock it away. In jail is different though. Like when you know how they use that word fish, like in jail, they have women. They have women in jail. So it's technically the DL lifestyle because those women in jail are still men, but it's helping those men that don't want to be gay feel like they're not gay. That's why I said jail is a whole nother world because again, they have women in there. They have everything that we have out here, but it's just a different world because those women are actually women.
Okay. That's why the DL and the trans go together because the man over there in the prison, let's say hypothetically, the man that's the top, the one that does the bending, and there's a man that's being bent over who put a towel over his head. Now he thinks he has a long 30-inch bust down and he's getting bent over. Now they're having the gender roles, like you're the woman, I'm the man.
And you can transition in prison now. So they don't even have to do that. That's what I was about to say. Like now they're encouraging them and they don't have to switch prisons unless they want to, which I'm sure some of them transition and stay in the men's prison because, I'm pretty sure some of them don't want to go to the women's prison. But so now that they're starting to transition them in prison, I feel like that's also like sometimes why we see, an increase in trans people because some of those men go to prison and because they're already looked at as like feminine, it's like, let me become some nigga bitch.
And you know what? Sorry to interrupt. Like I have literally been friends with a, successful trans person that sells his dick. He will even say, "Oh my gosh, I want to go to the prison just for the weekend so I can get banged up or so I can get this." I'm telling you, it's like it's a man's fetish from both ends. They both have fetishes to each other or something. I don't know. I can't explain it.
It is. It's the fetish. That's why I'm like, who the fuck would say they want to go to jail just to get banged out? Like, bitch, you can get banged out in real life, but in jail, it's the different type. There's different types of men in there. But I get what you're saying. And the fetish, it goes a little deep. And I think a lot of the times women don't really understand how deep the fetish goes with a lot of these gay men. That's why they hate me so bad.
Yes.
Because they don't like that I'm disrupting their fetish. Like, they don't like, especially the ones that have never been with a DL man yet. That sit around and they fantasize about it because I mean when I said that last year, people thought I was just talking. I'm like, no, some gay men and trans women literally have a fetish for it. Like they want a deal, they don't care what it comes with, they don't care that their life is going to be at danger. They just want these hyper masculine men, and it's all based on most of the time the fact that DL men are so masculine. So whether it's the gay boy that thinks he's the woman or thinks more like a woman, or it's a trans woman, it makes them feel like validated inside because they're with these hyper masculine men.
And the fetish has gone so far that there is new batch of trans people that are transitioning just to get a DL man. They're not even transitioning for themselves. They're not even transitioning for their own purpose or their own identity. They literally transition just to attract men. That's why you see all these hyper feminine trans women nowadays just to get a dick. Like it's that serious. I know it sounds crazy, but it really is.
Because trans is really just getting titties now. Like most of them, that's why I say only 10% in the US actually get the bottom surgery. So to me, they don't see a risk in just getting breasts. Like they don't, to them, it's not that much of a risk because they don't ever plan to get the bottom surgery. Like they still want to use their penis because they know that's what's gonna bring them the profits, having titties at the top and a penis on the bottom.
Basically.
So that's why I was like, I don't think this is gonna change unless we change certain.
It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. We need more of you.
Yes.
And more reasonable people, in a sense, like reasonable people that are not supporting the fetish because it's turning into a big fetish, and that's why the society is becoming more perverted as well.
Oh yeah.
And then now it's impacting kids. But what I will say is that I'm not against trans people, but what I do think should be a requirement, if you don't get that dick chopped, you can't say that you're trans, you can't get a new ID. I don't think you should be able to do anything as a trans woman if you don't have a bottom surgery. Because to me, and I always thought this, like when I first started seeing trans people, I assumed every trans woman had the bottom surgery because I just figured if you truly felt like you were a woman, the one thing that you would do no matter what is get that dick removed. If you had to sell your body for 10 years straight, you're gonna get that chop because isn't that gonna always remind you that you're a man? But once I actually started hearing some of them, I'm like, okay, so they make money off of it, and a lot of them know they can't have orgasms, they can't feel it. It's not gonna self lubricate. It's not gonna give them what a woman actually has, so they don't even want it, and they have to dilate for so long, and they could die. Most trans people that get the bottom surgery are suicidal as hell because of all of the stuff. Dinah is post-op.
Yeah. I
Dina.
mean, to be honest, yes. I've had, suicidal thoughts, but not because necessarily I chopped the dick. It was because my first surgery was a little failure. It, the same situation as Morgan, it closed up. So I had to have a revision.
Oh, Morgan.
And see, it's just a lot on the body just to, how can I say, just to not be still the real thing. So that's just the reality that I'm living in. But
do you regret it?
Huh?
Do you regret it?
I don't. I really don't. I will rather live like this than like sit up there with my titty on the top and somebody's man on the bottom sucking it. I can't. Like it doesn't even make sense. So it's like it's something that I've known since I was a child that's just not what I want, and that was like the biggest dysphoria. So what you say makes sense, because how are you saying that you are a man? I mean, you are a woman, but you're over there literally a top or whatever, like selling your dick, like I said, it just.
And when you say a child, at what age did you know that you were trans? Because I do have questions. Like when you say like, okay, it's from a child, because I just have some thoughts, but I just want to see what you gotta say.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I didn't know what was trans, first of all. Like I didn't know what was trans until I even came to America. But I did know that it was just I was just a child. That's all. All I know is just me, being a child, me being innocent, just having these thoughts. But I didn't know what these thoughts were. But it started when I was 4, I would say. I was in front of the mirror, like looking and just not wanting the pee-pee, I didn't even know what's the difference between penis and vagina. I get it, but it's like I just wasn't connected to my body, if that makes sense. But I didn't know that, I need to be trans or something. Well, I could be trans. I was just a child that was uncomfortable.
Right. And I guess it's like, did you have sisters?
No, I didn't have sisters. I was the only child.
Okay. And I guess I'm asking that because at 4, if you don't even know, I guess, what a woman is, you just knew that you didn't want a dick, but what would you have thought was like, what? I guess it's like, okay, like you said, you didn't know what trans is. That's why I guess I always try to understand it, because it's like, okay, you knew that you didn't want a dick, but you didn't know what a woman was. Well, I guess you did because you seen your mom, but you didn't know the body parts, but you knew that. I guess at what age did you know, like, okay, I want to be a woman?
So I would say I've been doing like the stereotypical womanly things. I was wearing dresses, I was wearing heels, I was doing the nails and everything since I was a child, since I could remember my childhood. And I would be punished for that by my parents, like, no, bitch, you are a boy, like, boys don't do this, boys don't do that. Then I started to know what the gender is or what I'm supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. Because for me being hyper feminine little boy, I was punished, so I was basically closeted. If that makes sense.
I mean, it does. But it does.
I cannot explain, obviously, like as a child,
and that's why, because I mean, when you say like you were putting on dresses and stuff, I guess it's like, as a child, for you to have access to that, somebody had to buy it. Like, did one of your parents secretly support you?
Oh, no. I was just borrowing my cousins, like my cousins' dresses, my mom's heels. Like, I was just being me. Like honestly, like I said, I didn't have any thoughts or whatever, like the agenda in my mind of why I'm putting it or why I'm putting the heels. It's just something that I liked. It just naturally came to me and I was just doing it, you know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't like groomed or supported. Like in Russia, wouldn't support the shit at all. Trust. So, you
Because
know,
okay. I mean, and
yeah,
I guess I'm just asking because I always say like if we can't study the brain, because I think it's something in the brain personally. Like
for
I think it's
sure, for
something
sure.
where maybe like hormone levels or something was maybe off, but we'll never know. But that's why I just kind of ask those questions to see like at what age did you even start having these feelings? Because I always say like with trans people, just like with being gay, like you don't know what gay is unless you're introduced to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, the earliest is what I remember is 4, you know, when
Yeah.
I was putting the dresses and just, you know, acting hyper feminine, you know. But
No.
in my mind, like I had no idea. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm just being me, if that makes sense. Like I'm
Yeah.
not being groomed, I'm not being forced. It's just naturally came to me and I was doing it and it felt natural for me.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna highlight, and I think it's important to let our youth know constantly that growing up is hard. Like we all go through moments in our lives, and I think the difference is when you feel it for moments versus like how Dina was saying, like it was a lifelong thing.
Mhm.
It's important to understand that we don't all feel comfortable in our bodies at a young age. Our bodies change so rapidly. We're going through hormonal changes. Our minds are firing off at bullet speed all the time. So I do wish and hope that that society gets to the point that these conversations can be had open and freely. I kind of miss the time where we were told that we weren't defined by gender, right? Like it's okay, like people have whatever they have to say about Nicki Minaj, but when she said boys, you just be boys, like I respected that because I was like,
Yeah.
it's okay for you to just be a boy that likes
Mhm.
certain things, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you're a
Yeah.
girl and vice versa, right? So it's tough, but I think when it comes to the kids, that's where we should really draw the line because it's important to make sure that people aren't doing things that they inevitably regret. Like Dina said, she doesn't regret it, but she's gone through the whole process, and I'm sure it was extremely painful, and I'm sure it was something
Mm-hmm.
that you wouldn't recommend a parent put their child through, right? So it's
Oh,
just these
wait. Is it?
conversations.
Um, well, as far as like the pain level, like you know, maybe it depends on on the individual. It was hard. I did it all alone, like no emotional support, no physical support.
Yeah.
But I was, you know, I survived. I'm thriving. I survived. I'm at peace, which matters the most to me. And but it wasn't easy, obviously.
Okay. Right. But would you recommend for somebody to do it to their child? I guess that's
No,
okay.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, it has a lot of complications, and even if I did recommend, I wouldn't recommend doing it in the U.S. Like go to Thailand, straight up, you know.
Oh. So you're
But I
saying the
would,
U.S. is behind with the surgeries for trans people?
yes, U.S. is far
Oh.
behind.
Oh. I thought we would be, up. I thought we'd be starting everything.
No, Thailand is ahead for like at least 20 years, you know, as far as their technology and how to make the the unnatural vagina the most functional, let's say.
Yeah. And somebody said, "How do you wish your parents would have handled you?"
If I'm being honest, like I can only speak from my personal experience. I would have loved supporting parents and I would mind starting my journey a little earlier, at least before I hit the puberty, because then I would be more at peace. My gender dysphoria would be a little less because
Yeah.
because I went through the male puberty. Um, I have like I have developed as a male. You know, I wish it didn't happen. I wish I had a supportive parents. But again, that's just my journey and who I am. I can't speak for everybody. But in my case, like I wish I had the support before puberty.
puberty is like what age?
12, 11, 12,
12. Yeah, I was about to say
13.
you start going through
Yeah,
puberty
like
at like
11,
11, 12.
12.
But it's just like at 11, 12, I would consider that a child. Like I
You
can
still, that
remember
is a
that's
child.
like
That's
fifth
100% a
grade,
child.
sixth grade. So that's like early middle school. I think that that's still an age where it's like, it's so iffy because in 7 years
Mm-hmm.
before you're even done with high school, you might think something completely different of yourself. So that's why I'm like, it's always iffy with me because I mean, I think that that should be a decision that you make as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult. That's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't support, children transitioning or whatever. Like, I agree with Nicki Minaj. Boys should be boys, girls should be, should be
Not
girls,
Nikki. Not that Nikki agrees. Okay, yo, and y'all keep talking because I gotta get my clothes out of the dryer.
Like,
Nia,
I
I
agree
have a
with
quick
everything
question.
she's, uh-huh.
Do you think that if your parents would have been more supportive, right, and they would
Mm-hmm.
have encouraged your diversity and encouraged your differences, do you think that you still would have, do you think you would have felt more comfortable in your skin?
For sure, because I needed that support. I just feel like because they knew, or deep down they knew I was a little different, I didn't get that support, and they were just making me go against the nature, which the nature is me being me. Like, I'm telling you, like,
Right,
my entire life I felt the same way I feel right now,
right.
like, I've never changed my mind, or I've never, how can I say, like, okay, today I feel like this, tomorrow
Like
I'm like
doubted. Right, right,
this.
right, right,
Right.
right.
So I wasn't like this. Like, my entire life, whether it's at school, I also played professional tennis, whether it's anywhere, I was seen as a, feminine boy, I guess, like always outlined, always outcasted, always othered, never had any,
Mhm.
boy friends. Like, it was always like I was always surrounded by girls, hanging out with the girls, just one of the girls, basically. Like,
Yeah.
even at some point at 13, one of my teachers was like, "Who is this? Like, is that a boy? Like, is that a gay?" Like, and
Oh.
I overheard the conversation, and I'm like, what is gay? Like, what is gay? Because I didn't know what was gay. I was just, like I said, being me my entire life.
Mhm. I agree, and I think that that's how you know the trans people that you can respect because, like I always say, like me thinking that you're a man shouldn't change your life because it doesn't. It literally doesn't. That's why I was like, the ones that are uncomfortable is because they didn't transition because they really thought that they were women. So when you call
Mm-hmm.
them out, it makes them uncomfortable because it's like you're calling me out on what I'm actually doing.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as like you calling out the DL man saying, "Hey, you're gay." They'll
Mhm.
get what? They'll get defensive.
Right.
They'll get defensive. They'll say, "Oh, my mama, da 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 da," like fighting and get aggressive.
Yeah.
Because they know that deep down they did some gay shit, and now you're calling it out, and they're ashamed of it, of themselves. And they project the shame onto you, making you the problem
Yes,
when you're
internalized.
calling what it is.
Yeah. I agree. And I mean, and it's easy to read. That's why I say, like, with me, I know most of the trans people that I get into it with, it's just an internalized thing that they're going through. It's like a battle. It has nothing to do with me because I'm like, I don't even say that much. Literally, I say a little. Like, I'm like, I can say that they're a man, and that's gonna send
Hmm.
them into a spiral for days. And to me, it's
Hmm.
like you should already know that you're a man. Like, somebody calling you a man should literally do nothing to you.
Yeah. And I kind of resonate with them because, when I was pre-op, yes, I was a little misogynistic. Like, I was thinking I look better than woman, da 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 da. Like, you know, the misogynistic tendencies are still with you, regardless how much hormones you're taking.
Yeah, because
Um,
you went through puberty, especially. So it's like for
yeah.
you, you went through that socialization as a man, which
And
is
I tied down everything what a woman had supposed to be to like superficial looks. But after my surgery, like, I don't know, I guess I came to peace. I did a lot of internal work. I did a lot of like honest conversation with myself, like
Mhm.
what is reality and what's not. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, just
And I'm
live the
glad
life.
because you're here, you're giving us like some sound advice. You're having a conversation that I feel like I wish more trans people could have and acknowledge, but you know, it's not a thing that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna stop hoping for that. I tried that for a year, but I am glad, and I'm gonna make sure I follow you when we end this because I like reasonable people. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have to agree with what you're doing, but I also
Mm-hmm.
don't have to disrespect you either, and you don't have to disrespect me because I don't agree. So that's
I
why I'm
agree.
like, I can appreciate that you're not upset because you clearly know how I feel.
Yeah,
You watch me. So that's
obviously.
why I was like, okay, and you're still able to respect my opinion, just like I keep saying, I can't stop anybody from transitioning. Now now that I'm getting into politics, that might be a
Hmm.
little bit different because now I'm gonna try to influence laws to stop people, but technically until that happens, I still can't stop people. I
Yeah,
don't
I
even, and
agree.
what I want to do has nothing to do with stopping them from being trans. It's just about stopping trans people from. I think we need to separate the space between women and trans women. Like
Hmm.
that's it. That's why I was like, trans people should still be able to exist. I'm not saying that they shouldn't exist, but I think
Yeah,
that because women are so uncomfortable, like we should either separate the space or if you don't have to me, I think the ultimate solution is if you don't have the bottom surgery, you cannot get your ID or you can't list yourself as trans. Like you
yeah.
have to have that dick cut off.
I agree. They because you want to call yourself woman, but also you don't want to give up your manhood. You still want to. You
Exactly. They
still.
want to bounce in between.
Yes, you
Thank
still want to
you.
develop from patriarchy when it's convenient for you, like
Hmm.
because if I was, a pre-op, yes, I will be selling my dick too because it's beneficial for me financially, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you can't even give up that. It's like
Yeah.
you have to suffer a little,
Yeah.
It's like they think it's just a costume or like you
Yeah.
said, like putting
It's
the
a gimmick.
makeup and the performance. Like at
Yeah,
that
it's a
point,
gimmick
what's
for a lot of them.
huh?
I say it's a gimmick for a lot of them where they're just like being a woman for profitability.
Basically, yeah. It's like you said, being a woman for profitability. Just
Transmaxxers. And this is the difference in a transmaxer and a trans woman. And that's why I always say, like, when I talk about transmaxers, the trans women don't get mad because they're out somewhere just existing. The
mm-hmm,
transmaxers are the people that try to push trans people on everybody. They try to promote that they're sex workers. It's like
mm-hmm.
to me, they're the like red pill men. I mean,
Yeah.
they literally thought the worst of women, like all women should do is sell their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
All women do is have kids. It's like they equated you to the most misogynistic viewpoints of women. So when they transition, they just fed into it. That's why you see them selling their bodies. That's why you see them being sex
Mm-hmm.
workers and not doing anything to me that's productive to women. That's why I always
Only
tell them like
something
you're not
benefits that
benefiting
them.
women
Like,
in any way. A lot of these
yeah.
trans people don't benefit women, and not to say you should transition to benefit women, but if you're only harming women, what the fuck was your point in transition?
And if you say you are a woman and you
Mhm.
socialize as a woman and you see how society treats women, but you still don't speak up, you still don't use your voice when you
Mhm.
know how they are treated,
100%.
that's how you know that it's not intentional, it's not genuine, it's not authentic because you don't even at least try to understand psychologically
Thank
what
you.
it is to be one, even if you can't be one, at least try to put yourself in their shoes, and they don't even do that because they're so blinded by all the pumped all the testosterone.
And they're blinded by male attention. That's why I say like men will talk to anybody. Like when people
Yeah,
start realizing that, like you said, like life isn't about dick. I don't hang out with nobody that does that. But I'm
yeah.
like with gay men and trans women, they literally equate everything to selling your body and dick. I'm like, and you can see this is because they'll be like, oh, you're getting paid. I mean, you're fucking people for free. Like you're
Hmm.
supposed to fuck people for free because you're only supposed to be having sex with people that you're truly interested in. That's why I was like, them
Hmm.
trying to normalize selling their bodies and being the low life scum men that they are. It's just it never resonates for me. It
But
doesn't.
they're the ones that are getting the key to the city, all the nominations, all the recognition. So it's clearly working for them. They're clearly backed by some sort of agenda or something.
Yeah, it's an agenda because I mean, let's just be clear. Like, it's the government makes money off these people transitioning, and a lot of people in politics, especially in Atlanta, a lot of them niggas are gay, so they're
Yes.
fucking trans women. So it's like the lawmakers, like I keep trying to explain to people, like a lot of them are DLs, some of them are gay, so they're doing what they want to do because they have an interest, like they're vested in it because they like trans women or because they got some money from some kind of coalition to push the whole trans thing.
If they were truly women, they would be fighting for women's rights, not for the little hush money that they get, and still basically like hush money that they get being a man using their tool. But then you want to claim that you're a woman, but all you can back your identity is the looks. It's not about the soul. It's not about the substance. It's not about the purpose. It all comes down to male. Like they're the most male centered people.
Yeah, I agree. And then you have some of them where they don't have any education. So it's like, even when you try to have these conversations, all they can say is like, well, I feel like a woman, so I'm just going to be a woman. It's like, that's literally not how that works. Like, it's just not how it works. I'm like, it's always going to be harmful to women. Every single time you have a trans person just say, oh, well, anybody can just be a woman. So that means that I can wake up tomorrow and just say that I'm a woman. Because that's literally what people are doing.
Well, yes, that's what you see, like the new batch of them that are like that are doing it out of fetish. Like you see all this
the old batch.
You see this like big growly looking white man that are in the bathroom, like just put on a lipstick. You know, it's now it's like a Pandora box was open to this lifestyle, and that's why a lot of them are transitioning for their own male fetish that they have, like whatever they got going on, whether it's a children, whether it's DL, whether it's closeted masculine, gay, whatever. You know, it all comes down to men are inherently more likely to be sexual creatures. Like a lot of them wake up just to get just to think about sex. You know, their whole life revolves around their dick, like literally slaves to their dicks. You know, and they will do anything to the point that they start taking these hormones to get the sex or to get the whatever. You know.
Yeah, because it makes them feel better. I mean, we not even gonna sit up here. You know, I'm gonna always be real. A lot of trans people be ugly men. Like a lot of them either are ugly men, or because patriarchy, they see that they can't dominate men. Some of them literally only transition because they know that they can dominate women. Like whether it's physically, whether it's like, you know, just whatever. Like, because again, manhood is about conquering and dominating. And when you're gay, a lot of people consider you less than a man. That's why I say, like, I think the problem that I always see in it is that just because you're gay, and you're feminine doesn't mean that you should be a woman. Like, I think that a lot of people get sucked into what society tells them is the man. And I think that society's idea of a man is completely different than mine, which is why I never be, you know, I don't know. I feel like society doesn't tell you what being a good man is. I feel like it'll equate it to money and power, but to me, the men that don't protect their own children or the women that they're with, to me, that's less than a man. Being feminine, I mean, I think all men are gonna have some feminine qualities, just like all women aren't feminine. They have some masculine qualities. Like most people are balanced. That's what the whole word balance means. Like you're not hyper feminine, you're not hyper masculine, you're balanced. Like whatever that means for you. You say we have to pay to have kids while they transition is funded. Exactly. Transitioning, I think that the funding is going down, but that's why I want to get into politics, because I feel like we definitely need to start getting these things defunded, and we need to start getting some laws and some policies passed to make sure, like, okay, like I said, I think the first thing we need to do, if you're a criminal or a felon, you can't transition. That needs to be first. After that, until you get that bottom surgery, you don't need to be able to identify. Your ID doesn't need to change. You don't need to change any documents. You don't need to be allowed in any bathrooms either. I feel like until you get the bottom surgery, because to me, a lot of these men, they're just saying that they're trans to get access to women's faces.
Yeah,
that's it. So I was like, every time you see those weird white men, it's like these are when you think child molester, it's like they always fit the look. Why are you camping out in the bathroom? Oh, because you can. That's why I was like, that's why you have to change certain things. There are no laws that keep trans people out of certain spaces. And I really hate that you have to do that, but I don't think women and little girls don't even, they're not gonna have the discernment to know that a trans person is putting them. So I'm like, we can't even risk it because trans people have shown us that, you know, it's not that many good ones. There's more bad ones than good ones. I don't think you should even risk it. I think we should put some harsh standards where if you're a felon, because since most of them have been transitioning in jail, if you're a felon, you shouldn't be able to transition. I don't know why prisoners need to transition. Anyways, that's something I'm gonna look into. But
It's because deep down they like the abuse they experienced in the prison, you know.
yeah,
It
no, I'm
all
saying in prison though. Like our government dollars should not be paying for people that are currently incarcerated to transition in prison. That's why I'm like, to me, that's just kind of delusional. Because if that's something that they're gonna do, it should be when they're free. Like nobody should be transitioning while they're in prison. Like they're not there to transition and make the time go by and get switched to a women's prison. They're there to serve their motherfucking time as a man. And I think that's what it should be.
I agree.
And when they
back
get
to the
out, if they
bathroom
want to
thing, like,
transition, they should do it.
what you say? Sorry.
No, I was saying when they get out, if they want to transition, then I think they should be able to transition. But other than that, I don't think they should be allowed.
I agree, especially in the prison. At that point, it's like the prison is doing a, how can I say, giving them a little gift of turning these men into feminine, you know?
Right.
Like, here we go.
No, not a
Since y'all are
legit.
so sexually deprived, let's make
Right.
it even easier for you guys, you know?
Yeah, we got y'all some women in here.
Uh-huh.
That's why I say like it's all sick. It's all a sick, demented game, and they would get mad when sent. I don't think some of them see with the prison, they don't all transition and move to women prisons. That's why I was like, some of them want to stay in the men's prison.
Oh, they want to
them-
stay in the prison.
Yeah, some of them will transition to the women's prison because you know they that's what they wanted. But a lot of them actually stay in the men's prison because they don't want to go over there. They want to be around men. You got to think they don't fuck with women like that. So the fact that
They're male centered. The big Timothy, I saw one of his video where he's like, "Now put me in the males, put me in the males. I need the dicks." Like she's like sitting like this.
For coming up, we really do appreciate it. If anybody else wants to come up, I'm gonna drop the link one last time.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. I was very enlightened. I will be back. I will be back.
Thank you. But yeah, so Dina, I'm really glad that, you know, again, you're very reasonable. I can only appreciate that so much because you're like the first reasonable trans person I've talked to that's not delusional as fuck.
Thank you. It's not even like reasonable. It's just common sense, you know. I feel
but you don't understand. I've talked to a bunch of trans people. Like over the last course of the year, I've talked to a bunch of them. Like TS, like it always goes the same. So that's why I was like, to me, I just deemed all trans people unreasonable after so many attempts.
Yeah. No, I agree, you know. Some of them are crazy.
Yeah. Do you have Instagram? Because people are asking you to drop your social media in the chat so they can follow you. But I don't know.
Yes, I do.
But yeah, because I'll follow you too. Because if I need a trans opinion, you know, I'll just have to come get you since you know you're clearly reasonable. I like reasonable people because the black trans women, I think that's why I say I don't know if it's the American thing or if it's the black ones because those are the only ones that I was dealing with. But I'm like, they're always unreasonable.
I would say it's definitely more American thing because they have too much freedom here. I would say a little too much freedom, a little too much of the support on the global media stages of the, you know, the transition thing, because none of this shit happens. Like, for example, in Russia, no, everybody's on DL. If you like that, it's on DL. It stays behind the closed doors, and that's where it stays. It's not outside or whatever. And if you walk outside with that, you're gonna get attacked. You're gonna get assaulted.
I really don't mind. I'm at the point now where if we all have to go back in the closet because the trans people fucked it up, I don't really care.
Yeah, that's fine.
My life still wouldn't change. Like I would, because me being gay is what I do behind closed doors. It's not something that I'm doing in public. So I wouldn't. I don't go in a women's bathroom. I don't do none of that. So that's why I was like, and we gotta go back to where we all gotta. I wouldn't care because I'm like the trans people are becoming insufferable. I gotta enter into politics.
I agree. You should.
So I'm saying I do like. I hate that I have to enter into politics because motherfuckers can't seem to do right.
Yeah, it's like it's just getting really out of hand, and I've been just seeing a lot of like bullshit in the sense like, oh, I don't need to look like a woman to go
This
to the woman's
literal.
bathroom, or oh my gosh, I'm experiencing periods. Oh my gosh, I'm buying tampon. Like, what the hell? What is this? Like
Delusion.
the
Their entitlement.
delusion.
The white men have their white privilege, so they feel entitled, and then you have the black people that I guess because they're trans, like it's kind of like gay people where they always want to be the victim, like they're gonna be the most victim at all times.
It all
You're gonna
goes
be the
back
most
to
victim.
the.
I'm not saying anything. You are a man. You are trans. Like, and I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to another phone. But yo, Miss Jules, like, I don't know why you're so upset. Like, at the end of the day, you are trans, which means that you were born away. I don't have to manipulate anything. You hear a trans person saying what we already all know. That y'all, most of y'all American trans, the black ones especially, and then the white ones that have a little white privilege are delusional. You're delusional.
They are, unfortunately, because
They
I'm
are. And I'm glad
sorry.
that you came up here and said it because they are.
Yeah, for many, many reasons, for whatever reason they are going on, because you cannot just say I am a woman and then use your tool. Like there's no woman like nobody besides a stud, and that's not even a tool. But then
Yeah.
they want to argue you down saying, well, womanhood is this, womanhood doesn't tie to genitalia. What does me having the tool have to do with my womanhood? But I'm like, what woman do you know with a dick? Please name me. Where is she? Find me XX chromosome with the tool. When you find it, then we can argue.
Right. My bad. Because I was just saying something. Oh, my bad. Okay. I thought I had this hair TS Madison on, which I do. I do. Like, I just got a notification. So I do got to tear that bitch up. But I'm going to keep it calm for now.
But anyway, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you.
I dropped my Instagram. I love your content. Keep being the reasonable voice and, don't listen to nobody, sweetie. We got you.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
No, you too. Like, T.S. Madison is going to piss me off. My bad, y'all. This is an ongoing argument. Yeah, and I feel like the argument should stop. But because I do need to go handle a bitch real quick, I am gonna go because my head just got really hot. Because T.S. Madison, okay, so Dinah put the social media in a private chat. Let me put it in the public one before I end the live. Because I'm sick of this bitch. I'm really tired of T.S. Madison. Like, sir. I'm gonna just handle it though. It's cool. So, do we have any questions? Let's go ahead and wrap it up because y'all already know I'm finna go tear this hoe up. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Where we going? I'm not going anywhere. I'm just getting off live because I'm also getting upset because I see T.S. Madison is on my page reporting it, and the only reason I say that is because 2 videos about him got reported, so that lets me know that he's the person that's doing it. And now I'm pissed because I don't know why he's so mad. Like, I'm still gonna tear you the fuck up every time I get a chance to. Every chance that I get. That's why I'm glad that I'm finna get into politics because the first thing I need in Atlanta, no trans people in the other bathrooms. Like, I want these bitches to suffer. So now I'm finna get off the phone and I'm finna call Angela Stanton so she can push me up real quick. Because I want this shit done today. Like, I want to start doing shit today. Now I'm mad as fuck. This bitch already got my YouTube deleted. That's why I'm like, bitch, you fat, nasty, goofy goobler with your ugly ass mama. Bitch, I'm finna tear you up. I'm finna go on my other YouTube page. and I'm finna tear this bitch up. No, I am gonna still be in politics, but I gotta tear this bitch T.S. Madison up. Like, I'm so tired of him. Like, he always think that he can just get people accounts banned and, you know, be out here reporting shit. Fuck you. I'm still gonna talk about you in a derogatory manner. There is nothing that he can do about that. There is nothing that he's going to do that's going to stop me from talking about him in a derogatory manner. Like, I'm gonna eat you up every chance that I get. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go pay for Twitter. That way, I'm gonna start going live on Twitter when I need to talk about him, since that's the app that he loved to live on with his big nasty ass. No, his time is definitely up. His time is up, and I will keep supporting women. And make sure you keep supporting me. And don't, if you see T.S. Madison, report him. Report him, because see, I feel like what he know is that I saw him messing with Just Hilarious, and I already told him the last time that every time I see him bother her, I'm gonna bother him. So I already saw that and I ignored it. So now I'm gonna go bother him. My name on Twitter is DL Whisper with 3 R's, and I'm gonna start a Twitter space. So make sure you come over to Twitter, because I'm gonna tear this bitch T.S. Madison up on Twitter in a space. In our minds too, because I feel like that bitch, I let him get away. So now let's do a 2-for-1 today. So if you're trying to find me on Twitter, it's DL Whisper with 3 R's. Meet me over